Zeus is symbolized by what appears to be a lightning bolt, a phoenix rising from the ashes with its 4 open bottom triangles and upward pointed arrow. It's also a symbol of fertility. The Greeks often put faces on the forces that shape the world, and the natural world was very frightening to them, so they associated it with the divine. In Greek mythology, Zeus was perhaps the most feared, but also the most respected of all the gods. He had commanded the skies, and that gave him the most deadly weapon, which was lightning. So when natural catastrophes happened, people believed they were sent by Zeus. He was a true leader and the bringer of order, justice, and civilization. Zeus was that guy who was really able to use his ambition, his creativity, and his intelligence to convince everyone around him that he was the one that should be leading. So he was really able to build alliances and momentum in this way. He knew how to treat people, and because of that, he easily maintained his power. Now, what one can also see from the astrologic symbol of Zeus is virility, fertility, as you get somewhat of a phallic symbol. Both Freud and Jung saw lightning as a phallic symbol, and Zeus was indeed known to have an incredible sex drive. He sought many women, and it is thought that he had hundreds of children, a child with every woman he was ever with. So the Greeks wanted to be connected with this virility, this power, and they were pretty proud if there was someone in their town who was a child of Zeus's, and his offspring is often what produced the local ruling families. So where we find Zeus in a chart is where we find control, directed, and creative energies. It's a recipe for leadership, achievement, and positive goals of all types. So let's take a look at some charts of people with some really strong Zeus energy. First up, Prince William. Now, when we take a look around the meridian of Prince William's chart, and remember the meridian is like a snapshot of the soul. It's what someone really wants to become, regardless of whether it brings attention and recognition from the outside. So it's the point of individuality from the soul's expression. We have a very interesting midpoint structure here of Zeus and Kronos. So, of course, Zeus is all about leadership, direction, the urge toward activity, and Kronos is all about things that are high up, literally and figuratively. So governments, bureaucracies, authority, official positions. Kronos is also about things that are above average or excellent. Someone who does something where they're really an expert at it. So when Zeus Kronos get together, as they do in Prince William's chart, it's the combination of a commander-in-chief, someone with a strong personality who wants to be an authority figure. Now, you may think, wait a minute, he seems so sensitive and mild. Well, don't forget, he does have the sun and moon both in the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign. So there's a lot of sensitivity to this man. But when we get to his meridian, which, by the way, is powerfully placed in the sign of Scorpio and blended with the Zeus Kronos midpoint, this is very much someone who would like to lead and would be a fine leader at that. Now, the kicker to this whole structure of Zeus Kronos with the meridian is the fact that it makes a 3-point picture, which is that the Jupiter-Zeus midpoint structure, also aligned with the meridian axis, while Zeus still hooks back in with Kronos. Now, the planet Jupiter expands whatever it touches with faith, optimism, positive growth and development, and within 2 degrees, expanding the power and growth of that Scorpio meridian. So hooking back in with the Zeus and Kronos, you can see he'll make a very fine leader because he's got the power, he wants to use it, and with all that water, you have a very sensitive and caring man. Next up, we have the chart of Barack Obama. Now, he too, like Prince William, has that powerfully intense Scorpio meridian. And around that Scorpio meridian, we have a Zeus-Uranus midpoint structure. Again, our Zeus, with its directed, creative leadership energy, blends here with Uranus, the planet of reformers, inventors, and technicians. Uranus is also the planet of independence and personal freedom. It wants to do what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants. It doesn't want to be told what to do. And if supported by the rest of the chart, it uses its energy for reform, revolution, and change. So with the Uranus-Zeus midpoint structure around his meridian, you have a leader with a lot of willfulness, a lot of energetic willpower. It's a very independent situation and necessary for someone who is in that type of position. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the Zeus-Uranus midpoint also hooks in with the planet Poseidon, which aligns perfectly with his meridian. Now, Poseidon has everything to do with positive ideals, the higher mind, consciousness. Poseidon wants to shine the light on something, and aligning with his meridian, you get that desire to operate from an idealistic viewpoint. So meridian with the Poseidon, these are people who want to express in some way their ideals with others. And combined with that willful leadership of Uranus-Zeus, you get someone who wants to use their power to illuminate their idealistic visions. This is someone who's a powerful orator, and we got our first glimpse of this at the 2004 Democratic Convention when he gave his first speech. Now, despite his unpopularity as a president in the moment, I really do think that he'll be much more successful, more like a Jimmy Carter, to himself and the public out of office as a visionary or inspirational figure. Now we come to the chart of Bruce Lee. Now, here we're going to take a look at Zeus in relation to the physical and virility. Bruce Lee was widely considered as the father of mixed martial arts. He was essentially an action hero, a film actor and a filmmaker who was a real pop culture icon of the 20th century. He developed his own techniques and was known for his almost obsessive training, fitness, and nutrition regimens to become as strong as he could. So here, instead of going to the meridian, we're going to go to the planetary symbol that represents the physical body, which is the sun. Now, around the sun, we get a meridian Zeus midpoint structure. So wherever we find the meridian in a midpoint structure, in terms of the ease of understanding, we can substitute the word my. In this case, meridian Zeus, my direction, my leadership, my force. Meridian Zeus gives an urge to accomplish a great deal physically when positioned around the symbol of the sun, which again is the physical body, and if supported and not too hindered by other aspects, is really the structure of a true sportsman. So what's so great about the Uranian system of astrology is that there are many different ways to find information that you may be looking for. If we wanted more information that pertains to Lee's physical body, we could also try looking at the Sun-Aries midpoint structure. And so Sun-Aries, Aries is also referred to as the cardinal axis. Again, the sun being the physical body, and the Aries point represents the world, or more specifically, Bruce Lee's physical manifestation or relationship in the world. So around this point, we have a Zeus-Hades midpoint structure. Now, Hades often drags whatever it touches into the underworld, but positively manifested Hades represents the antiquities. So this creative, virile energy manifests in the world of martial arts, and it ties into Venus Vulcanus as well, someone who is powerfully attractive in this area. Think about Venus, which is beauty and love, and Vulcanus, which is like a volcano. This is someone who really had the charisma and power to transform the world of martial arts, as well as the way that all Asians were represented in foreign films. If you enjoyed learning about Zeus and want to find out where it's located in your own natal birth chart, just go to my website, theuranianastrologer.com, and select the tab, The Transneptunians, where you'll find directions on how to obtain a free Western style or traditional chart with all the Transneptunians in it. And to take a video tour of the other 7 Transneptunians, you can visit me at YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Twitter, or visit my website, theuranianastrologer.com.